Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope that you people are doing well. Today we are going to discuss the remaining part of the chapter that we started. It is on locations, the different types of locations. We discussed about the unplanned locations in detail, and today we are going to discuss many different types of planned locations. So without further ado, let's go and discuss the chapter. It is on retail locations. Okay, so if you remember, we discussed all these different important things in the unplanned locations. Let's go and discuss the planned locations now. Now, when we talk about the planned location, the first and the most interesting and important one that comes in the topic is called shopping centers. Now, what is a shopping center? Now, if you ask me, apart from looking at the book, it is a center for shopping. So what is a shopping center? A center for shopping, where you can find a lot of establishments designed to sell you different types of products. Now what the book says is it's a group of retail and other commercial establishments that is planned, developed, owned, and managed as a single property. Now, as we discussed about the planned locations earlier, that what is a planned location? A location which is centrally managed in terms of parking, security, the lighting, the indoor signages, and so on and so forth. So, a shopping center is the most favorite ones amongst the planned locations because things are very properly managed and things are very properly organized. What are the different types of shopping centers we have? We have neighborhood and community centers, which is also commonly called strip centers. Then we have power centers, we have enclosed malls, we have lifestyle centers, MXDs or the mixed used developments, we have outlet centers, theme festival centers, and omni centers. All of them we are going to discuss one by one. Now, before I go to the neighborhood or the community centers, I want to share with you another very important term, and they're called anchors. Anchors. Now, let me try to write if I can somewhere. When we talk about anchors, anchors, ANCHORS. You see my good handwriting. So anchors are those stores in a retail outlet, in a shopping center. I'm repeating, what are anchors? Are those retail outlets in a shopping center. They are very famous and they are the main focus of customers. So customers normally visit a shopping center because of an anchor store. So anchor stores are, it can be one or it can be two or more than two retail outlets in a shopping center, which are the main attraction for the customers. I'll give an example of Mid Valley. If you go to Mid Valley, in Mid Valley, you have Aeon Jesco and you have Aeon Big. These are the two anchors, which are the main reason that the customers visit. So that is about the anchor, which was an important thing I want to discuss with you. Let's go and discuss now the neighborhood or community centers. Now, neighborhood and community centers, as you can see here, are those centers which, as you can see here, is more like a place which you can find in many of the near the compound. So if you go to, for example, the PV area, the Melavati area here in Kuala Lumpur and Klang, you will find this kind of place just beside the residential area. So it's a community center. Things are normally properly organized, particularly in terms of the parking. Every store have a parking in front of it, and there are some advantages and disadvantages that you have to keep in mind. For example, the location is convenient to the residents of that area. The parking is comparatively easily available, and most of the time the parking is free. You see that it has a low occupancy cost compared to the shopping centers. The disadvantages are that you don't once the store is occupied, you don't have more options to open another store there. So there are stores already. These people have already taken this part, so nobody else can join in there if they want. But in the shopping centers, particularly in the enclosed malls or the big shopping malls, you will find out places always emerging, new places, and there are more options there. You don't find any entertainment there. Of course, you park your car there, go get the grocery and come back. And it has certain level of risk associated with it. They have mentioned the risk related to, if you can see, the risk related to weather, but it can be any other type of risk as well. For example, snatching, for example, theft and so on. Now, one of the biggest types are called power centers. Now, power centers are those shopping centers which consist of big box retail stores. The word big box retail store is an important term here. So please kindly note down the term big box. So when we talk about the big box retailers, they are the retailers that normally occupies maximum space in a center. So they are bigger in nature. The example that they have given from United States of America are like, for example, Target, you have Costco. We see that when we go to the curve, we have IKEA, we have the Tesco. These are the big box retailer. Some of the things that you have to keep in mind in the power centers are they have open air setup. So you see the parking are normally open air. Freestanding anchor stores are there. We discussed about the freestanding stores. It has limited specialty stores. You will find out that most of these power centers are located near the shopping malls, and the best example I could give you of a power center is the curve area. If you go to the curve area, it's the best example of the power center where you find out big stores, big box stores like IKEA, like Tesco, and you will find out that they are also near the enclosed malls. For example, Tesco itself is an enclosed mall. It has low occupancy cost in some areas, not always. It is convenient because it is bigger, so you will find a lot of people coming and finding particularly the parking space easily. It has a reasonable vehicular and pedestrian traffic. It's convenient, and it is a large trading area. Now comes the most interesting one and the most appealing one to most of us are called shopping malls. But before I tell you the shopping malls, do you know some of the facts? For example, the first power center was noted down in California in 1993. So you can see that it started in 1993 United States of America, and other countries have followed as your book states. Then the shopping malls, we have two types of shopping malls: regional shopping mall and super regional shopping malls. Now, regional shopping malls are the shopping malls which has less than a million square feet, and super regional shopping malls are bigger. If you look at this one, which is the shopping mall in China, you will find the same type of shopping mall here as well. Can you think of a name and tell me which shopping malls have a roller coaster here? Yeah, can you tell me which shopping mall have a roller coaster? A roller coaster? What do you think? Which shopping mall? In Kuala Lumpur? Can you give me the name later? Okay, I'm going to ask you that. Now, the advantages and disadvantages of shopping malls. Shopping malls are enclosed malls, so they have more centrally managed management. They are managed centrally. They are more planned. Many different type of stores are there. There are advantages, huge assortment and varieties there attract shoppers not only for the sake of shopping but for window shopping, and it is a place to comfort, to relax, to have some food, to have a cup of coffee, and then walk around and buy your product. So the purpose is not only utilitarian but hedonic. You remember the utilitarian and hedonic, and that is something that we discussed. If you don't know, go back to the chapter and find it out. The disadvantages are it has a high cost, it's had high rental. You would see that since it is planned and everything is managed centrally, the tenants or the shopkeepers or the businesses may not like it, so they want you to store to close the store at a particular time. They You may not like it, or the what do you call, the shopkeepers may not like it, but you have to follow it because it is centrally managed or centrally controlled, right? The competition is very high. This is a very important point. Because of the competition, you will see it has a positive and negative, to be honest with you. And what is the positive? That since there are a lot of stores, so some people may come for another store and see your store, and they come to your store. They don't know your store, but they came to your store because of visiting a shopping mall. So that is a positive. But since there are so many stores offering the same type of product, so it increased the competition as well. And this is an important thing that I want you to focus on. You will see that nowadays the shopping malls are becoming so big that you will really find enough time to go and check all the stores. So you take any shopping mall, go to Mid Valley, go to the Curve, go to Wanotama, go to any of these big stores. You'll find out that it is really difficult to go around and check all the stores. I even sometimes tell my friends that one day is not enough even to check one floor, and we are talking about 5 to 10 to 15 floors of a shopping mall. So customer may not have enough time to go around and check things. Lifestyle Center. Where did you see this place? Here in Kuala Lumpur. My question mark doesn't look that good. Let me try. Okay, this look good. So where did you see this kind of place? We have this kind of place. We see the Lifestyle Center with which is a location which is considered an upscale, affluent area. Upscale and affluent area means that you will see that rich people normally would visit it. My writing. Okay, so you will see that rich people normally visit it. This place is an upscale. Luxury items are there, mostly branded items are there. And it looked good. People normally go there for walking, just having some relaxed time. You will have restaurants there. You have, as I mentioned, there are upscale stores there. You will have restaurants there, a cinema there. You will have some other type of departmental stores there as well. So tell me, where do you find this place in Kuala Lumpur? And that is what I'm going to ask you, right? So what do we call it? We call it Lifestyle Center. Most of the Lifestyle Center have open air configuration. You will see that it is open, so you just go walk around there and you see on both sides of the road amazing branded stores. MXDs, or mixed used development. Now these are the biggest ones. So what do you mean by the biggest ones? In terms of the sizes, and not only the size, but it has everything that you can search for in one location. For example, it has a shopping center, it has offices, hotels, residential area, other type of complexes. You have convention centers. You will find everything in one place. So that's why they call it is all in one, or all inclusive environment. You can stay there, you can work there, and you can shop there. So all in one. Do you know where can we find this place here in Malaysia or in Kuala Lumpur? Then MXD, or a place where there are no most of the places we see here in the central the CBD area, in Kuala Lumpur, you find that a lot of the establishments are MXD actually, where people live. They have offices and there are places to shop as well. But I'm going to ask you. Outlet centers, they are also called factory outlets. We have factory outlets in different places. They are designed by the factories, mostly the manufacturers, and they sell products comparatively cheaper than the same products if you find them in the shopping centers or in the shopping malls. Interestingly, we have a couple of them here in Malaysia, and they are mostly in the remote areas, or they are a little far from the residential areas where you find the branded products but cheaper products. Again, I'm going to ask you where to find the outlet centers. Interestingly, in Malaysia, a lot of them are actually called outlet centers. So I'm going to ask you, where do you find the outlet centers here in Malaysia? Festival centers or theme centers. We have a festival center as well. Now they are called Sitapak Central, but previously they used to call it Festival City. You remember that? It is in the it is on Jalan Pahang, the Festival City. They used to call it Festival City. Now they call it Sitapak Central. They are the place. Again, they have the place the place for shopping, the entertainment, and the restaurants are there as well. But when I look at this particular diagram, a special type of shopping mall comes in my mind. Do you remember, where do you see this kind of place? I'll give you a tip. It is on, I think, the 4th floor of that shopping mall. So it is in an upscale area, but it looks more or less like this. It is also designed towards a specific theme. We have larger multifunctional developments. We also call it omni centers. Omni means all in one. Now, when we talk about omni, we are referring to those type of centers who normally they don't have an official name. That's an interesting part, that they may not have an official name, just like we have Met Valley or the Curve or One Utama. But they have everything that you want, particularly in terms of shopping. You will see that it combines the enclosed malls, the lifestyle centers, and the power centers all together. It's a bigger area without a proper established brand name. They are larger. They target both pedestrian as well as the vehicular traffic, and customers go there and they buy a different type of products based on their preferences. Interestingly, when we talk about locations, there are so many types of locations there, but the one which are more profitable are the other types of locations. And in the other types of locations, the most expensive one, but the one which is ranked high, is the airport. We will discuss that. Then we have resorts, then we have store within the store, and then we have temporary or pop-up stores. So these are called alternative locations or other locations, right? Pop-up stores or other temporary locations. Now, when we talk about temporary locations, mostly they are designed for for a certain purpose. And the purpose in this case, in your book, says that, for example, you're launching a new product, so you start a temporary store in the middle of a shopping mall or in the middle of a street or an upscale area to create what? To create a buzz. So you create a buzz, you want to test new concepts, you want to evaluate customer response to your product in that area. You would need a temporary location. Now, normally we see most often the temporary location in the holiday destinations. So like you see the resorts, you will find the resorts, particularly when in Malaysia we have, alhamdulillah, one weather, but in countries where you see summers, winters, and other weathers, you will find that there are a lot of temporary stores designed only for that particular season. For example, for winters, you will see where people go for skiing, or to a snow a place where you find a lot of snow there, or snow resort. You will see that a lot of temporary stores will be selling you products related to the winters. But when the winters are over and you find out summers, you will see a lot of temporary stores will move to the beaches. So these are the example of temporary stores. You will also find temporary stores in different festive seasons. Like, for example, if there is a festival going on, we have Eid, for example, we have Christmas, we will see a lot of temporary or pop-up stores will start showing up. In the concert, you will find a place and then you will not find that place again. We have weekend fairs and we have different farmer markets as well, where you find the temporary stores. When store within a store, that's another interesting one, a store within a store, and that is a lot here. You find out, for example, Sephora within Guardian. Where is it? Sephora within Guardian? A part of Sephora within Guardian. What do you think? Where is it? Can you tell me that? I'm going to ask you. Sephora within Guardian, or for example, a small store or a small site dedicated in a bigger store to something else, to some other store. We call it store within a store. So they are located within a larger store. For example, you will find a coffee bars or the coffee stores. In the store you'll find banks, you'll find clinics. You see that? These are the examples, but I gave example of Sephora. You'll give me an example, okay? The merchandise kiosks, a very interesting alternative solution for the shoppers. Again, they are temporary in most of the cases, but in some cases it becomes permanent as well. For example, they give it temporary because it can be relocated. But you see that in a lot of the shopping malls, you go to KLCC, you go to Pavilion, on all the aisles you find temporary merchandise kiosks. Some of them are actually not temporary. I've been seeing some of them for years, for many years actually. But you find them. The best example I give you is that when you go to the Curve, in the Curve there is a place which is called the Street. The Street. In the Street you will find a lot of merchandise kiosks, and they're very temporary. Then I told you about airports, the most appealing location, and why? Because of a reason. And what is the reason? The reason is that there is a lot of traffic. Interestingly, this may not be true now. You know why? Because of COVID-19. What happened because of the COVID-19? What do you think? Now, airport are now no more used, or are used rarely, or people are scared to use airports. Previously, I remember a lot of people, they would go to the airports just because it's a very happening place. You see people coming, going, some people happy, some people sad. So it's a nice place to go to, but not anymore. But the rentals were very high. I don't know about now. I think it will reduce, so the rentals are comparatively higher. I don't know about now. We will have to figure it out. The place is comparatively smaller, but the rents are higher, and the reason is because of a lot of traffic, especially the international airport with a lot of connecting flights. So you see that these were the alternative locations. If you have any questions, that you can ask me, inshallah later we'll discuss that. And I hope that you enjoyed this lecture. I tried to make it a little interactive by writing on the screen. Now I'll be doing that more, and I hope that you like this experience as well. If there is anything that you want to share with me, please feel free to share with me. And yeah, that is it for this chapter. Inshallah, see you with another chapter, with another topic in the coming classes. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Bye.